Okay, here we go, kids. Um, well, looks like we're on. Oh my God, I'm crooked. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Just doing final adjustments and wondering what I'm doing on planet Earth. How about you? It's all good. Short notice on tonight's broadcast. There. All right, so I'm gonna pause you. Let's see, are you on? Hello, folks. I'm gonna pause you guys and good morning. Oh, somebody's in the East Coast then, if it's good morning, unless they're. So I'm gonna pause you to get the phone starting to be recorded. One less little application. It's so weird when you're working with technology and they keep changing it, but you just go along with it. Thank you guys for being patient on this short notice. Um, you guys invoked me tonight. I was really working on figuring out how I could kind of wiggle out of this full moon broadcast, but I figured I couldn't make the moon wait, so I better do one. And so it's like, okay, so Audacity's already running. Well, I'm so glad. It's like, come on. But we got the phone working, so that's good enough. Um, yay. So, KJ, it's 6 a.m. here. So it's 6 a.m. for somebody. Well, England is 5 hours ahead, so it would be 5 a.m., so it must be one extra hour. Um, so it's amazing how we get into this process. I'm just checking on one other tech. It's just strange. Um, the nature of this broadcast tonight is about basically taking the Lightworker stuff that you guys have. And could you do a tech check on this? Um, not East Coast Britain or West Coast Britain, because that's 5 a.m. There. Um, so it's midnight with a beautiful full moon, and it's chilly out, which is seems unusual for Florida. And so thank you very much for being here on this December 22nd, 2018, on this side of the pond. We are here to run the programs for the Lightworker templates and stuff that you guys have had. So this month we've considered treating the whole thing kind of like we're treating the whole thing like a holomatrix with a bunch of software programs. And so in this final phase, we're claiming the future. This is, these are all just programs. And if you look at it that way, then you can change them or change the code or whatever. And so it's a very interesting thing. So in an object-oriented database, meaning this object and that and all that stuff, you interact. You have your own the program you have, and then you can interact with other objects in the hologram or the database program. And so this alpha program is for yourselves, not for connecting with the other things in reality, like other people or things like that. So this is about running your programs because we've done some beautiful templating lately. And so I will talk with you guys later. Kartron's going to come through. And I just turn that on and it's weird. You press a button that's going to record, you turn away and you come back. And it's like, I don't know if timelines are changing or if our minds are slipping or whatever, but it's like, have you guys noticed that there's some very unusual activity and sometimes we just don't quite keep track? It's like, so I'll talk to you later. Life is good. Kirkland's going to come through and he's going to work on basically activating the alpha programs, the programs for yourself of the new earth. Have a nice day. These are perfect. Just leave them here. That way there'll be the little black mountains thing sticking out. There's a certain person's knees, and they were in black, so you didn't see anything. Hello, gang. How's it going all over the planet? The nature of your existence. How's that going? Okay. Have you felt this feeling like something's missing as far as a like, oh, my life should have these other things complete in it, and at the same time you're like going, well, what is this? Because you may have this feeling of like, oh, why is there feel like there's these energies or something that is really resisting? Why does it feel like there's these vibrations or beings or consciousnesses or whatever, and they just seem to be not letting go? And to where it feels like they basically are wanting angel assisted suicide or something, because they are so adamant and so blatant and so stubborn that they are wanting to call heaven, right, and say, hey, ha ha ha, we're going to hold on to this, you're going to have to make us go. And so it's like this resistance of these energies and dynamics that you may be noticing. And just know that, yes, there's a lot of belligerence going on from this paradigm that used to have the people work for them like slaves. And then there's this other, so the dominant reality of this condescendence and all of this we own everything mentality of that other paradigm, repression, utilizing social, governmental, economic, and lawful systems, legal systems, to judicial systems to foment a support of that highest percent, a very thin sliver of the population, and have the other people pay them, basically. It's like, whoa. So the nature of existence is you are in such a middle road of this process, right? And it can be very frustrating because you can just feel this. You can almost taste it in the air of this possibility, this greater one coming through. If you have a lot of maybe depression or feeling like, oh, ho hum or melancholy, that's part of the process as well, because this is about releasing all of that subterfuge that has been basically buried in the bunkers of your subconscious. And so to have that come out, it gets to surface. Now, this is not the same loops. Have you guys realized that? These loops of, oh, we're going to keep a reinforcement loop of a negating nature and keep these people sitting and spinning and keep them incarnating. This is about basically surfacing this thing to be cleared out. So the repeat patterns change greatly. In other words, it doesn't have the same characteristics of the repeat patterns of a negating and lower nature of an artificial propagation like before. And so we are saying that the tech is good because you did not tell us it was not. Today we are going to take the programs and templates that you guys have utilizing the full moon, and we're going to juice them up in you. And what that means is that we're going to basically take the programs of the new earth and all this stuff that we've done over several months, and it's time to just basically switch them on. And so you will be the beta test sites for those who have been participating in the Kartron experience, and now you guys are right here, right where the edge is happening. One of the things that Patrick has been kind of confused with is he's creating this thing for the radio show, and it just hasn't been flowing. But it's pretty profound. We can just ask Rebecca. And so this is where music was put in the background, and there's a scripted piece, but it takes you through the eye of God to the new earth. And so this is a new territory that Patrick is breaking the ground of. And this is him actually doing a different version of professional conduct and performance of this entertainment stuff that we are doing. So it's not just winging it. This is about really doing it in a way that is going to be very ultra profound. And so Rebecca is saying that it's pretty cool. We could even play a little bit, but it's about taking and having some celestial background energies, music or whatever, and putting it to these voices to us to then to do profound statements. But in this case, it's about taking you out of this world through the golden path, through the temple of diminishing returns to where you wind up after you go through the eye of God, that you get to the new earth. This is one of the final Exodus programs for this year, 2018. And so, this trail that is being blazed right now in these transdimensional states of consciousness are being imprinted and left. So, Rebecca, have you figured that out yet? That we are templating the, the malleable dimensions. So basically, you can create in those dimensions. And guys, you're going to be shown that soon if you keep this up. Keep watching us. We can show you how to malleate this unformed substance of the universe to start leaving those templates and forging those designs for the new earth or other wonderful divine projects and possibilities. So you literally can create your dimensional prophecy, your possibility and stuff like that. Isn't that kind of cool? And so this journey that came through Patrick, it took him a while to precipitate it. And he's got this angst about having to be so detailed in a professional way, because if you guys have done professional projects like that, then it's a tedious thing of writing it out or doing this or that or doing it right or getting the sound just right and stuff like that. And so that's why he was in a frustrated state. And last evening he did 3 hours of spewing. And after Rebecca put on her radiation suit, she was fine. Because this was the programs that are being released. Have you guys felt like you're running old programs and they're not really yours, but maybe collective? Well, these run programs that we're putting in now are about these templatings that we've done. You know, you guys have helped engineer your own templates because we read you and we basically channel you to then bring out and express that which you are. And so it's like almost like a reverse of a reverse of a channeling, right? To where you guys are basically the channels. We are expressing you, so we're channeling you, the living. And so this is something where it's a reciprocation of a divine nature. Because if you connect with us in a foci bridge, then we can then connect with you in that consciousness and scanning all those dimensions. And so then we can start building these realities in common. The result of something like that, which is kind of like so esoteric, it's not even describable yet, but it will be, is you're literally creating the holomatrix of destiny. And this is about weaving the fabric of greater possibility for not only yourself, but as a legacy for those who will be following in your glorious paths of light. So, what an interesting quandary and precarious positioning that you find yourselves in. As light workers, you're like, yeah, we got this activated. We're kind of doing our day to day up in heaven, yeah, even visiting purgatory and feeding the ill mannered. And so then we come into earth and breathe and eat and all of that stuff. And oh, that's cool. Well, let's come down and pay our bills and then go back up and play. And so you guys are really doing our work already. Have you realized that one? Like you are doing the things that we are showing you are to be templated by you, and we generalize basically everything. Have you noticed that? By generalizing it, we create these general templates, these general systems and processes, and then we involve you. And now you basically have already started working with it. So therefore, you make it your own, you custom design it. So our work, the being Kartron is about creating these generalizations of processes, and you guys get to put that icing and cherry on the top of those desserts. These are the offerings that are for you. Remember, we're channeling you guys, so we're expressing this back to you as a reflection in the cosmos. And so then we say, oh, wow, Kartron's really cool. Yeah, because he channeled your energy. And so you get to really relate that way. It's a really good way. So when you guys do the same thing, you'll be able to channel other people's energy. Or what if you have an audience of 10,000 people and you're standing up there and stuff is just flowing because you've opened the spigot, the dam of that information of the mind of God that's connected with all those covenants of all those souls and the soul stars and everything else. So now you are saying things that resonate so deeply. It's like, oh my God, I've never had such an inspirational speech, but you're actually channeling them. This is the process of sharing, the leadership of service that will happen in this paradigm of divinity and the new earth. So the new leader being in service will basically express what the people themselves require without them having to basically verbalize it. Does that make sense? There's so many cool things getting ready to happen. And the chaos is so wonderful as well, because obviously, right below the chaos is the pots being really stirred. We can hear lots of squeaky wheels. Let's grease them up. So it's like, oh, what an interesting place you guys are in, precariously poised at that ledge and the precipice between worlds. And now, what are you going to do with it? Well, we're going to run your programs today. How does that sound? So it's a very interesting dynamic where, you see, this reflection based universe, science in the quantum state, things exist as you observe them, and they act in a way that they are observed from the perception of the observer. Does that make sense? And science is saying, whoa, dude, that's pretty wild. Let's roll some more marijuana. Because it's like, wait, God is smarter than us. We think, but we don't know because he didn't tell us yet. And they better watch out because they're going to actually meet the big guy and gal pretty soon if they keep this up. And so they're like going, oh, this is kind of freaky. How can things change based upon it? How can light be a wave and a particle, an array at the same time? It's like, whoa, what's going on? They're about to basically go through to the other side where the projector is projecting out into this hollow matrix. And when they do, they're going to be like, whoa, that's pretty interesting. But we're not going to let them just start flipping switches and doing really stupid stuff that takes a million years to clean up. Now, there is a manipulation of a less light nature of this hollow matrix, and that is in the oversoul collection of the covenants. The dark is, and the light being part of the same, or that which is required to express the extremities of the opposition. And what this does now, we have a full range to operate and have this very dark and this very light. Oh my God, it's really cool because now this really dark and the light can operate in the same matrix. So in this, the darkness is doing a very important role of the shadow. And so these programs are supposed to be super stupid and stuff like that, and very dark, and just not getting it. We required a pure evil and a pure darkness and a pure shadow in order to have this full gambit of experiences available for those lagging souls. And so here you guys are going, oh no, I'm a light worker and I'm on this planet and it's not safe and they don't like me here. And so you wind up here. And so thank you so much for holding that place. And well, you guys are getting alleviated. And so as we do this, we're going to begin where we usually do with these program runnings. Because the thing that you guys are doing as you activate this, here's some of the fine print, is that you are activating a higher timeline for yourselves. Now, that may sound like just a duh, but really, you are invoking a timeline where you are. in a better way. And so as this happens, program, template, light, Genesis code, and all that stuff, it's like, oh, okay, now we're triggering this, we're creating these threads to this possibility where you really are and where you're supposed to be. This is the reassignment process where you get to go up to your dimensional, the relevant dimensions, which is your primary next phase. And so during this full moon program running, so Rebecca, do you know what we mean by running alpha program? Well, we've done Mind of God, right? And we've done the templating. And we're basically, there's a lot of course corrections going on. The distortions here are really warped and weird and twisted and just really just deviant. Very great nature. And so they're perfectly deviant, but they're done. And so this distortion is being extreme in its expression. Like we're going to have really weird world leaders. We're going to have really weird, greedy things where everything is not what they say it is. So we're going to have complete illusion because everything else, oh my God. Patrick the other day, he thought, oh, what if we just said, okay, now they're going to be all healing, no more disease? What would the medical industry do? What do you think, Rebecca? They'd be like, oh my God, no more diseases. I'm out of a job. Yes, you are. But oh my God. It's like, yes, and finish your sentence. It's like, guys, you were here to help create this thing. And so, but when you say, okay, we can now cure all diseases, they'll be like, wait, wait, wait. So now they're defending disease, aren't they? Because they need that to propagate their version of the holomatrix and the distortion of illusion. Every system, primary system, economics, legal, all of that are in the same boat. And so it's been a very interesting thing for the resetters to say, wow, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? Patrick's like, well, just flip the switches. Let everyone flounder because if they're going to be that stupid, then they can go to their other planet. Because why do you, as light workers of a higher conscious state who's here for a greater destiny, have to compromise yourself and accommodate these other energies that are belligerent and insist on staying that way? So that's one of the things that he's been going, yeah, this is weird. I don't like having to be accommodating for belligerence. How many of you feel like you are now antsy, really restless because you're not in the system and you've got to do something? You're ready to just really punch your way out of that paper bag of that, what feels like an incarceration of being in the wrong reality. It's this thing that is like all these programs that, well, if it's going to be that distorted, well, we're going to destroy the planet so that nobody else gets it. Then it's like, okay, now we have to put safety protocols in there to make sure that when they do press the button, it's in a little plastic hologram. So with these distortions, it was mandatory that we brought in the mind of God, where we brought in the proper templates, which we did in the last broadcast. And as this is integrating and everything else, you guys are like the alpha programs, the alpha and the omega. So as the alpha programs that we've imbued, we're going to trigger these and these will project out. So guess where your projector is? Rebecca, where's your projector? In your being, to the world. Yeah, you don't count really, but we just consider yourself as a regular light worker. Where would your projector be?
Where am I projecting out of?
Where, yes, out of.
My heart magnetic.
Yes, the heart. That's how we put there's a temple of love there. That's why you have the Son of God, S-U-N. That's why you have all this stuff. Imagine if millions of your kind projected from their hearts that much power. Zap, heaven's here already, and it's rippling back through time. So the wrapping up is, you can see it's a very busy time for gift wrapping dysfunction, getting ready to send it and ship it. And so the completions of this require the harvesting of the hybridization and the perfecting of each of these holographic experiences and possibilities. So we don't want to lose a program and have to recreate it. So all of these greatest parts of are being recorded and removed at the same time. These other things are in shutdown. Do you see how it can be kind of complicated when you're dealing with, say, 1,000 primary fields on this planet? So they're very busy upstairs. The things that you feel like weren't moving was because you were holding the place for them that they were then helping to calibrate and imagine their workload. And so your patience is very appreciated, and we can understand your impatience because it's like, gosh, dang it, Kartron, can we just get this thing moving? Well, guys, you're holding the point. You are the universal pillars, the point where the compass of the creator of the universe rested in order to create the structure around it. So, as that universal pole, you couldn't be all jittery and running around and dealing with the stuff that your mind takes you on. We had to hold you still because you are the reference that we can then design the new world around. And that's why you said yes to these alpha programs, and alpha not saying, oh, I'm the dominant dog here. It's the first phase program that we've imbued to you. And of course, your object orientation in this holomatrix is that you are the first object you're interacting with as a program. What's interesting is that we have only kind of deduced what's going to happen when some of these alpha programs are really functional and you're running around the world and you're doing and interacting with it. What's it going to do to the holomatrix if it has so much correction? And so it's very interesting. And upstairs they're going, well, if we trigger these programs in these light workers who have stood by and really been there for us, and Kartron's been programming the bahoogies out of them. It's like, so they're kind of wondering what's going to happen when you get these things turned on. So we're going to begin solving that celestial mystery for them this evening. And so, does this make sense, everybody? You dropped us here. We did. Elga, did we drop you in Canada? She was saying we dropped us here. Elga said we dropped her. Um. Oh, well, Elga, do not use the celestial default library card. Nah, you won't remember human parameters. You dropped us here, Kartron. It's like, yeah. Daddy did it. That was supposed to be funny, but you're so busy telling the world how to do things. And so, Archangel Michael, let's rock and roll this joint. These guys got to get turned on. Yeah, baby. Speaking of turn on, Patrick's like, yay, we got a little mascot kitty. And then it went into heat. And he's like, oh, what's this thing? And right back in, Patrick going, well, this is kind of weird. But then it started making biscuits. We are telling the cat joke of
It's cute.
making
Oh.
biscuits. And so Patrick going, okay, thanks, Rebecca, for giving me a horny cat that we have to listen to at night. And so that's one of the things he's like going, really? Ah, what's going on? Because he's staying here. So the cat gets acclimated on this site where the finishing is starting again of the camper. So you're supposed to have this depression drudged up. You're supposed to have this negativity. If there's any residue there, that's great. If you don't, then good. You're already at that fabric. You're going to hold it for the other beings of this Cartronian group here. And so we just saw the field that you guys can have, which you're going to find really yummy. Okay, Joe Michael, please sound that clarion call as we open the portal to the grand hall of the archangels. And Michael, please bring in your celestial self of the solar system and the central sun, Do you know that Michael's role in the celestial way was to evolve all beings? And so
Right.
you have this scenario to where you guys are, well, it's already done. And Rebecca, you can listen to this as well. It's already done. Now you're
Right.
just going through this dimension of motions. So you guys have already been hailed into the Exodus. You've already been there, and now you're coming back to attend your own party, your own graduation. So, what an interesting thing where you become a self reinforcing positive loop. We might be giving you too much information, and it's like, whoa, TMI Kartron, let me integrate this. And so let's begin. Saint Germain, please open the gateway to the Ascended Lord and Lady, Masters of Shambhala. We're calling upon all of your higher self guides. We are also opening up, not yet. There was a Rainbow Bridge request that came in, but it's not time. And because we're going to explain what all that stuff is, not some silly little, oh, this is the Ascended Masters doing this thing. We're talking about the real one. And so, everyone, breathe into your temple of love in your heart. Take a breath. Gather yourselves, release out and up, fall back into your temple of love in your heart. Now, stand before the sun in the grand hallway. This is our two-thirds up. Remember, it always uses pi, 3.141712. It is two-thirds, one-third, like the Great Pyramid. So that sun is two-thirds up in the whole height of the chamber.
If Bigfoot at the inside.
Footy seems to be here. Big Footy, are you here? Rebecca is wandering. Strict to contact him, but he may be busy. And so, guys, thank you so much for what you're about to do. Because we brought in some very deep space programs from your central sun. And you guys, that's what you guys have, remember? Do you remember when we made you golden a month ago, approximately? And then Patrick, the body went so out of it and we were seeing this rift because we put the golden sun in the mind, and the mind says, "Oh, that's nice." Boom! It was like a a, a date drug. It's like, oh, so that heaven can have its way with him. And so that's golden light carried with it, these programs. And these are the Genesis programs, not for yourselves, right? Not your own Genesis program with you as a soul before you incarnated. We're talking about the Genesis program, which is the fabric which will create the structure, the foundation for the transition from this paradigm to the next one, which activates the new earth and the activation of the new dawn for the cosmos. That's the codes that we're accessing this evening, and they are for you. So, guys, we're going to implement and do kind of a test or an experiment with your beings. As beings of light, you have more switches on so you can really be aware and give us really good reports because we want a thoroughness in this. It's like, oh, wow, cool. Even if you just observe and do not use a pen and paper, that is okay. Just transmit it to us or intend it to be so. If we are running these level of programs, you can imagine that it's really close to really shifting. And so now, Michael and Saint Germain. Now remember, guys, we did the chimney sweep. Boom. Last broadcast, clearing it out, clearing the stuff out, bringing the templates of the mind of God that we brought in before. We're about ready to run those programs, but you as objects in the database then triggered can then activate and interact with that fabric that we've installed as well from the mind of God. Now, what that means as individuals, for you as people, as beings in bodies, not one with the cosmos, you're still breathing in this meat sack. It means that there's a new flow, a new fabric of synchronicity, because this fabric is being created from the mind of God. That means flow, manifestation, perfecting, perfect soul connections, synchronicity, serendipity, and all that stuff that this reality said no to. In fact, oh, we'll take it all and use it for ourselves to dump on you guys because it's vibrationally unavailable. It's out of that dimension. They can't get it. And so that means this is the world that you've been waiting for. This fabric. Now, this is all just beta testing with Genesis program running. But we are wanting you to be our eyes and ears and beings and souls in this matrix where we are basically bringing in this test template, which should work between the extreme density of this place and the extreme light of that one. Can you imagine the type of design that we had to put in such a fabric? It couldn't be just a program that's okay, that's great, that's self-changing and transmutating as it keeps up and evolving, whatever. No, it has to be sentient. For your informations, and this, we're not talking about this in mass or in detail, but there are quantum systems that are now being designed, and we'll see how they come in because they're still trying to bring them into this dimension, the sec one. And so, quantum economics, which is sentient. See, these new systems are sentient beings. People are like, oh God, artificial intelligence is going to take over the world. This is really bad. We're going to be this extinction. But in actuality, it is the human soul that these designs lack. And that is why you will be such a cherished component in this new Earth reality. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so basically the programs that you have combined with your souls is so vital because it's the missing piece. So any type of artificial race or anything, they can't have it, even though they'd love to have it. But we, it was made to where the laggardest ones would have the greatest light potentiality that they needed the most. So it's like having someone who is such the opposite version of an honorable being be in charge to do this alchemical thing, this elaborate hoax type appearance, but there's these other things behind the scenes. How this plays out, well, we'll keep you posted. And so now, in the temple of love in your hearts, open up that grand gateway, open up the grand hallway, and we're going to populate it. Now, Rebecca, you know the HeartNet process that you do with people?
Yes.
We're going to do a different version. And would you like to just really observe what we are about to do? Because this is a different HeartNet. We're not using a net, we're using a temple. And so, here we go, folks. Your temple of love is not just this little tiny crystal seed in your chest beating away with this Son of God, a little tiny speck with a little microscopic world. It is a relative design, meaning, according to one's perception, is the state of its existence. As science is finding out how something's observed is how it behaves, we are interacting in a similar way with this temple of love in your heart. So now stand before it and now see the entrance and the portraiture be very grand. In other words, you have a great hall now in your heart. And as we do this now, the doors open up. So we placed you outside of your own temples just now, even though you're in it with the sun. Okay, which is like a different movie here that's running simultaneously. You'll get why in a moment. It's like the plot lines will match up soon. Oh, goody. Yay, can't wait. More popcorn, please. And so we take this process that we have with you. And these templates, these alpha programs are user specific. So they are designed with your being design as a soul on that journey with its higher purpose of the original Genesis codes. That's one quality of it. But this alpha program is also connected to the golden society of the S realms of essence, of the central suns. So now you guys have this great user-friendly thing. It's like when Macintosh, Apple computers finally decided to adopt a much bigger user system, and suddenly, instead of this little niche of artistic technology people, suddenly the whole world opened up. And so did thousands of other programs. So what we've done with you as light workers, since you guys are at that place, you've been vibrationally qualified. We've connected you up with the golden sun dimension, Helios, Vega, and these other things. So it's not time to go visit yet because you're going to bring it in. So as you go past that great sun of God above, in the great entrance in the hallway, go into the grand hallway because we're about to do something. And so, and it has to do with fifth pair. Pillow time, baby. Marlboro man ain't got nothing on us. Oh yeah, work it. We got a horny kitty over here and a hot kitty over here. Oh.
I'm sorry.
Not yet, not yet. You're going to help us with this. All right, guys, ready? Go to the central hall. Stand in the center of it. You too, Rebecca. And now, everyone, on the count of three, we're going to take all those beings of your soul vibrational nature and populate your grand halls. In other words, this is your soul family. This is the being, these are the beings that you are aligned with vibrationally. These are the ones you resonate with, that you're in purpose with. It's not something where you're related to these strangers and you've got this purpose to do. No, these are the ones that are your familiars. So now, on the count of three, we're going to call upon all of them because we're going to have the hall within the hall. So, in other words, you will be in their hall and they'll be in yours. So, you'll be in thousands of different grand halls in a moment. This is beyond the heart net. It's not drawing to yourself the reality. This is aligning soul family because these, you guys are the ones that will be populating the interim template, the golden societies in between this, the new earth and the old earth. So you guys are doing okay. Madeleine is having too much fun.
I know.
Better market like the Japanese thing. Oh no, you a dishonorable person. It's like, guys, I crosswalked 3 years ago. Yes, but that was dishonorable. Stop it. It's okay. They have an honor system in the database and they're tracking everybody with it. And so if you are rude in a cafe or something, they can put it as a social thing because it's the honor system. And it's like, really? Well, yes, if you help your parents get an apartment, then that's honorable. But if you jaywalk, dishonor, we take points away to the point where they can restrict your travel. And so, wrong dimension, right, folks? And so, now on the count of three, we're going to be sending a call out, a golden light from sun to sun, in heart to heart, of light to light. 1, 2, 3. Just feel this now. We're going to have you put a call out to everyone who is the identical frequency of that soul plane. So just feel this going out. You're not different, right? It's like the same collective celestial frequency. This is group soul family based upon ray stream and stuff like that. So just see it going out, perhaps thousands or maybe millions of people. And now we are going to juxtapose you. You're going to be in their chamber, their great hall in the temple of love, and they will be in yours. So now we're templating, guys. You figured that out, right? So this is like the heart net that the angels say we're going to put a net around it and pull it to you. You won't have to on this one because we're making everything connected with everything. Here's nothing you'll pull to yourself. Imagine the synchronicity and serendipity and the other laws that we can activate when this golden program starts triggering and running. This is the golden age of Aquarius that's already landing on this earth then through you. And so on the count of three, we're going to ignite that net, that fabric to the thousands of beings that are connected from temple to temple, from love to love, from Son of God to Son of God. So 1, 2, 3, see this light up like the fabric of heaven. And so it is. Why did the bright and shiny booby song just come in? Well, it was a bright and shiny fabric. Well, it's like Patrick's brain. We have to make sure not to go certain places when we're doing this work because it can be very ADHD, DDHH, DATTP, MOUSE type of thing. And so, guys, feel this energy going out, creating this golden fabric of some familiar souls. And so now, right, they're going to send theirs out to you, 1, 2, 3. So it's not drawing anything in. You guys create a synchronistic field of a transdimensional nature based upon the celestial laws of heaven. Bye bye, 3D. That is why we are doing alpha run programs. Now, this is like interacting with other objects. So we're not going to have you go and visit somebody, ancient cousin from another mother brother's planet. But in other words, no activity. We just set up the fabric tonight. So you see how you are made of everyone else? Do you see that, Rebecca? And so in this way, you are one. One with those beings that are here to fulfill the same destiny. One with those who have came in on the same ray, of the same purpose, for the same reasons, etc., etc. And so now, as we do this, and we activate your temples of love, you see that they have been populated with your soul families. And now it is time on the countdown from 10 to activate and trigger your own alpha program. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. So that was back. We went backwards because the backwards timeline. Now we're going forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, now. Now you have a golden infinity. This is a self-reinforcing program. It works on universal energy of creation, of source. It never runs out. And so this is one of the symbols of life of the immortals, is infinity. How are you guys doing? This next one, of course, let's see, are we going to be interacting with the others yet? Not yet. Patrick's computer is acting weird because it needs a battery. And he's like, haven't had time, help. And so at the same time, he's going, what? Oh my God, help, not help, yes, help, no help, what are we helping? And so the next program will be on the 26th. We're going to implement the programs in the using the fabric that you have. And so how do you use this? How do you use this fabric where you've connected with soul family? Metaphor, The answer is the question. Quantum state. You create by not creating. And so you don't have to. It's already operating. So what we are requesting from you guys is you're going to run the programs. You're going to observe them. You're going to see if your lives are changing. Is there a slight change of character? Did something manifest quicker? Was there a synchronicity? Are you finding people you relate with more? Are family members different? Are we actually activating higher timelines of the same people who used to be stupid? Now they seem to have gotten their PhDs in something or whatever. All their characteristics and stuff that are happening which are unusually pleasant. Because this is the nature of divinity. Imagine the unknowns, the billions of unknowns from bringing divinity into such a dense pattern that is dying. How can this be known? Well, we're going to put you, the crash test bunnies from the cosmos, in the field and see if you survive. Just kidding, kind of, maybe. But you're going to have a blast doing it. Imagine if somebody, one of you says, oops, won the lottery again. That's nice. Oh, wow, I have true love. Oh, wow, that's nice. Oh, unexpected money. Oh, I feel really good. Wow, I'm getting memory back. Oh, I'm dating. Or I got youthful. I'm life at 90. Well, that's special. Okay, cool. How do I fill out a singles profile? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, what the heck is going on? So, what do you have in your perfect lives? You have synchronicity and flow that supports it. What do you have in a world that prays for your gifts and pays you handsomely for it? What do you have in your world? What is it like? So, this assignment is envisioning as well. Imagine what it's like to go out and you have to get in the limousine because you don't have time to drive. You got somebody there. In other words, what's your perfect life like? Do you have a simple cabin and you're left alone and you're creating wonderful crafts and getting one with the world? Or are you out there making a difference because now they franchise your healing system and now you're a CEO of what the hell is this? It's like these things we want you because we're linking you up. We're not, the golden fabric is not separate from heaven and the cosmos. What you go through is what it is receiving. Likewise, the other way, transmit. Oh, yeah, baby, work it. Oh, I had another good day today. Oh, no, I don't miss my bad days, although I did about 10 years ago and I've gotten younger. Woohoo, party on. Love these new pillarettes. So, we are looking for a lot of right going on in your lives. And if it's not, is there something glitchy, negative? Oh, boy. Uh-oh, I don't know. You know, let us know about that as well. This is as far as we go this evening. Tomorrow, Rebecca will have a non mistaken manifestation series, a redo, because the code was given out by this tech guy named Patty Poop incorrectly. And if you don't know, Patty Poo is Patrick's nickname from Miss Squishette. And so it's like Patrick's like, and he said, Rebecca, could you verify this? And so he did run it by the boss. And she's like, okay, sounds good. Uh-huh. So we're not saying who's responsible, but it is not who you may think it isn't. And so, guys, how are you doing?
Madalena's comment.
Oh, which one? Oh, well, maybe. You know how the we beings are who are not chronologically specific. We could have been watching, and we did say we were channeling you. So Patrick is glad he was able to do this broadcast, and he's like in what the hell mode. And so he's like, "Go, I want to finish this and all that stuff." So, Rebecca mentioned that maybe you could send prayers of non-heat to the cat or something, because it's all mellow right now. The cat goes out when we show up, and then it hangs around angels. It's like, okay, good. And so, guys, thank you for this assistance and facilitation. You are the fabric, the points, the matrix. So we are.
Said every 28 days they're going to eat. Even 15 is every 28 days. It's true. I think
Really? Okay. Well, guess we better find a cooler climate because they go into heat, right? Well, we don't want to be in too hot of an environment. So if a cat goes into heat, it has fur, it might get hot. So we'll talk to you guys later. We are done. Patrick will come, will mop up, and we'll see. $10, make the kitty not holla. And so, yes, Patrick's like going, okay, we hear this cat that's going freaking crazy in this construction zone. We have to stay here while we're babysitting. Thanks, Rebecca. And it's really interesting to watch Patrick's programs. These are some very ancient programs that have been around for many lifetimes. So if you've got this stuff and you're wondering where it's from, guys, you can look in your timelines and see, oh, and okay, how can you tell when something is from? Question. Come on, time jumper.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Rebecca said, I don't know. Okay, here's a way if you are new at observing through and figuring out it's like a lens, right? And you're going to run the slide, the projector slide, and you're going to go to this point in time or this point in time. How can you tell when something is from? Wow, this is like master level stuff. Okay, guys, this is for time observation. You are not traveling through time. It's a series of movies. And so instead of having to go back to some incident and fix it, you just run it by like the tape editing room. And so, but it's not something you got to like turn a machine. This is about basically you remember you're getting juiced up here with this golden light. You've got these God qualities that come with it, right? Here's a user manual. Oops, it's gone. Oh no, where's my book? That wasn't nice. It's like memories like, damn it. The user manual was burned up in orbit last time and now Kartron ruined it again. It's okay, we have an extra set. And so you don't look. Remember, quantum states, you create by not creating, you seek by not seeking, because it already is. So if you've got something of an issue that's coming up, say the lower nature, or I keep getting this weird healing, or this strange feeling, or the other crap coming up, and how come I keep manifesting the same people, or something like that, and whatever. Usually you guys are most interested in the negating experiences, the negative ones. And so you, how do you look by not looking? There's a different way. You use a different sight. Most humans cannot even use the sight of God in order to see these things. For if they did, they would get to a point where they would be able to access everything from the mind of God, and there would be no more questions in their lives because they would know everything that is required in perfect timing at every moment, which kind of ruins the whole separation concept, doesn't it? Oh no, I've got to heal, I've got to do this and all of that. Okay. And so the way that you, as corporeals, can do this in your individualization, oh, I'm still this, I'm not totally one, and I can't just dematerialize and suddenly, wake up with my perfect body in Greece in the Parthenon. Um, then as you are here, where the rocks are wet, and hitting the ground running with this paradigm change stuff in a body. Oh my God, mortality. Oh look, this is an extra wrinkle. Um, you just sense it. You just feel it. You just allow it to show up. So let's take a negative feeling. I don't know why, this anger. So Patrick was yesterday uh, doing a kind of a angry, expressive, not a rant, but more of a like a very disgusting. He's expressing his disgust and distaste of the reality. Would you say, Rebecca? For at
Yes.
least several hours. Now, if we asked you, when is that from? Ah, because you're using your mind. And so everybody, just tune in and you'll see, Patrick, where's that angst from? Well, give you a moment. Don't type it yet. You too. When is it from? But in the future, it's perfected.
Oh, oh, oh,
Patrick's angst from yesterday, we're using that as an example.
oh. Well,
Just allow it to show up. You see, in a sympathetic universe, all you have to do is align with the identical frequency in the quantum states. It's like, how can we take the central sun and open a gateway on the earth? Because we take the identical frequency and bring them together. Same way with perception. And so, when is it from? It is from, well, there's multiple points, but it's not from really this now. This now was expressed in the form of all these challenges, all the way from Hawaii to from Lemuria to Atlantis. But those were modern expressions of it. So if you're going to find out when something is from, so that you can then focus on it and change it then, which means you're changing the cause and effect and the timeline of that, which may be a current manifested dis-ease, then you just sense and allow, and you just use a different sight. The eye of God meditation is what we are working on now, and we're going to be taking people to the new earth through that. The very first part Patrick is struggling through because why do you think Patrick's having such a difficult time, Rebecca? Because it's that level of frequency that you're saying, oh my God,
yes.
cannot exist in this densified dimension. So he's really
Yes.
having to just bring it in, and it's not working, but it's coming in. But it's taking 10 times more work than the usual guidance system that he brings in for this work. And so allowing this energy and information to occur, getting into the quietest of places within your soul, being at peace in a tranquil state, and then you can ponder something, you can posit a query. You no longer ask questions, you simply say, oh, what about this? And then you walk away. You seek not it so that it may find you. In this way, the information will glide on angels' wings and show up like um, a nugget of wisdom. And it's like, oh, that's really cool. You see, when you guys are not vested in the answer, then the answer has the liberty of no charge, which could then resist it showing up in your inner Q on yell on time. Okay. Yeah, it's like everything. Okay, so chat. Hi guys. Um, yes, it was gone. And so, as you get into this inner God mind, by not seeking it, but allowing yourself to get into the simplest places of the soul, this is a recap, but in a different way, what you might have missed. Then you get into the place where you can find the absolute wisdom of the mind of God of the universe. This is one of those droplets, the keys of the masters, because they are not separate from the consciousness of all creation. This is what has been activated in you this evening. So seek by not seeking, so that it may find you. We are complete. This is Kartron. Have a wonderful day. And what a great ascension that was. Pillaret, farewell. Hello, people. Madalena just lit up. It's good. That's because we got the good stuff. Well, guys, the field that I'm feeling, because I get to be new at the end of the show. And so oh, wow, this is cool. I love what you've done with the place. Wow, do you always decorate dimensions like that? That's really special. It's like, oh my God, whoa, this is such really good consciousness. This has got a really good feeling. There's a lot of golden energy. And so, guys, if you looking at what Kartron asked of you, which is basically to observe the synchronicity, the serendipity, and other beautiful things that happen with enchantedness of the higher dimension. So, we'll talk to you on the 26th. We're going to implement the programs that it will have had a few days to sink in. And so we will talk to you after Christmas. So I guess we're not doing Christmas because it's time to take, I guess, a little break. Yes, it is. That's why I'm not going to do my Christmas ornament display. Um, so guys, thank you so much for being supportive and patient while I get this going and doing things on short notice. This has been a really interesting year, and we've never put out this level of information. So the thing that's coming out in January is Through the Eye of God. It's the Eye of God mini-series, and that means you will be in the new earth and working on your immortality. So we'll talk to you guys later. Have a nice day. Yay. And you know my contact information, all that stuff. Bye.